get home late, you're out with your friends, mom and dad ask you, why were you late? What do? You make up that excuse anybody else would. Tell them, oh, there's traffic, oh, I lost track of time. But you make up a lie and you're just basically making up an excuse. Let me ask you a question now. How do you feel after you made that excuse? How do you feel? Does it make you a better person, or? Well, I'm guessing you guys are all going to say no. I myself made excuses in the past, and I thought about it. I would make excuses to my mom, family, friends, and then later on I thought about it in life, and I regretted it. It didn't really make a good impression on myself, and then later on when they find out that you were lying or made up that excuse, they don't see you as the same person you were when they knew you before, and basically just changes your reputation. Today I'd like to speak to you about why people make excuses in their life. Does it make us or does it break us? And the second thing I like to talk about is the consequences you get and the outcome of it. And lastly, I like to speak to you about how we can make ourselves a better person without using those excuses. I'll begin talking to you about why people make excuses in their life. People make excuses in their life because they try to they think it's going to get them out of trouble, or they won't get caught in something, or etc. And people make excuses to their family, to their friends, to their coaches, to their teachers, and basically everybody that you talk to in your life. And all these people that I just named, obviously they mean something to you, like your family. They love you. They're everything. Coaches, they're the ones that teach you how to play the sport that you're in. Teachers, they help you out. And parents, they're your parents. So if you think about all those people, they all mean something to you big in your life. And I'm sure you guys are thinking, dang, I've made excuse to one of those people in my life. And I'm sure you guys are regretting it now. Second thing I'd like to talk to you about is actually, do these excuses make us or they break us? These excuses obviously break us into a bad person. For example, you make an excuse to your dad or your mom and lie to them about something, and then later on they find out that you were lying and you made that excuse, and obviously you're going to get in trouble, and the consequence is big on that, because parents usually are hard and big when you lie to them. And I suggest you might as well just tell the truth. There's nothing wrong with telling the truth. The truth is better than a lie. And as I was researching this topic, I ran across a couple of quotes, and I would like to read you a couple of them. This one by Don Wilder: excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure. Second one I'd like to read you is by Kimberly Johnson: never ruin an apology without an excuse. With an excuse. Sorry about that. And last one was by Jonathan Swift: a lie is an excuse guarded. The last thing I'd like to talk to you about is how we can be a better person, not using these excuses in our life and tell them to certain people. Instead of making excuses why you cannot do something, make excuses telling yourself why and how you can do something. Basically, what I'm trying to say is make an excuse that's going to better yourself on why and how you can do something other than lying to somebody. I'm sure you can see all these excuses we use in this world, and how it affects us around people and family and friends and etc. There's 3 questions you might want to ask yourself before you want to make that excuse or lie to somebody. Is it worth it? Why not tell the truth? And is it going to make you a better person? And if you answer all these 3 questions, you're most likely not going to want to make that excuse that you had in your mind when it came to the point. Let's see. As you can easily see, making an excuse to whoever it can be doesn't make you a good person. It affects your relationship with the person. Including my topic, I've told you about why some people make excuses in their life to stay out of trouble. I also explained the outcome and consequences. You're obviously going to get in trouble by your parents or lose your friendship with friends, family, and teachers. They won't trust you anymore. Coaches, they're most likely they probably won't play you because you made an excuse to them and they found out later on. And basically my message was to you is making excuses does not lead you into success. It actually puts a bad reputation on you. Think about all the excuses you made in your life. I'm sure you guys regret them now that I just told you about how an excuse makes a bad person about you. And I'd like to finish off with a quote. It's by Albert Hubbard. Don't make excuses. Make something good in your life.
All right, John, what did you think?
Okay, so the attention grabber about having us think of when we got home and the excuses was okay. I thought it could have been a little bit better. I wasn't sure what you were trying to persuade me of. It sounded more like an informative speech about excuses and why they're bad and stuff. The eye contact, you were looking out, but kind of more up. More often, you look occasionally at people. And then I didn't hear a lot of source citations. I heard a couple quotes and stuff, but not a lot of where you got your information from.
All right. Yeah, I'd agree with a few of those comments. I thought the presentation, when you looked up, you were doing okay, and you felt it seemed a little bit more like you're trying to connect to the audience. You could distribute it a little bit more. But in the last half of the speech, you kind of gave up on doing that and just kept looking at your notes constantly. I do think that you need to be a little bit more certain about the point that you're trying to make. You had a good layout of what the structure was going to be, but what's the objective of the speech? That needs to be clearer. It sounds like an impromptu speech that's well developed as opposed to a persuasive speech that's well researched. I think you've got good ideas here, but you need to fill in the speech with some material. All you have are kind of the quotes or aphorisms from a variety of people about making excuses without showing how making excuses actually creates any problems. All you've got are some hypothetical examples and some of your own conclusions, and I think that the argument needs to be developed a lot more. It sounds like you're making a huge generalization. It'd be a sweeping generalization that excuses are never acceptable. And I'm not sure that that's really the case that you want to make. I did like the thing that you used toward the end when you're asking people to make an individual assessment about what they're going to say to somebody else, and ask yourself these questions before you decide to make an excuse. And I thought that that was a pretty reasonable action step. But it's as an argument, I just think it's a little underdeveloped. It's a good idea, but it needs some content to fill it in. All right. Thank you for starting us, though.